Welcome to A Night With, the show where we invite members of the TF2 community to discuss the game and the people who play it. Tonight we're on with Mr. SVE, Mr. Zv, a popular TF2 streamer on Twitch. Mr. Zv, welcome to the show. How do you say your name? I should have asked beforehand.
First of all, hello everybody, and thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure. My name basically, when people ask me what your name is either SV or Mr. Zv, no problem. It all works great. I know it's a kind of like a weird combination, but I find it a little bit better because there's like a kick to it, and not a lot of people have the name. And it's a funny also thing to mention that I didn't want my name to have like Mr. in it, but Twitch didn't have the name Sve available, so I had Mr. in it.
Naturally, that's what made you come up with SVE? Anything specific?
So it's like a long time. Me and probably everybody in the world, like I wanted to be like a YouTuber, and I was trying to find a name that wasn't being used that much and also stands for something. And I thought like for myself, oh, like serious Viking entertainer, and I was like, yeah, that sounds a little bit cringy. Let's make it SV, and people, if they ask me, I'll tell them. Usually it gets mixed up saying like, yeah, hey, you live in Sweden, and it's come from the Swedish name Sverige, which means Sweden. Oh, that's why your name. And I was like, no, there's a complete different reason for that.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that before. So then for people that haven't heard about you, tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel.
So my name is Abraham, and I'm actually 27 years old. I've been streaming on Twitch for like 4 years, but I've been in the TF2 for about 5-6 years. I work as a nurse, full-time job. I used to work in McDonald's, for those who who was with me like for 2 years prior. I work as in a nursing home, and generally streaming. I live with my parents. They're really good. They're really helpful, even with those like difficult time that I had in the past. And I do stream mostly TF2. I think TF2 is the game that actually got me to where I am today, and it will be a shame if I didn't own up to the game and give it like 70% of my time at least on stream.
So you focus mainly on TF2 on your Twitch channel. It's a weird category because that's like the sweet spot of people playing versus the amount of people watching. What initially made you want to start up the Twitch channel and play TF2 on it?
So, like I mentioned before, I actually wanted to be like a YouTuber, and I tried to upload some of my stuff, and it didn't really pick up anything. Then I actually met a friend on trading. I don't know if you guys know him. His name is Pope Abibi. That was like back then when I was collecting Australians, and he was actually streaming, and he told me I should stream, and I decided to give it a shot, and surprisingly it went like any other guy who just started. It went with 0 people, and then initially having 1-2 people watching me, and then I found out like it was a little bit easier. I started experimenting, and I thought, yeah, it's gonna make more sense to start streaming on Twitch, because when you're working a full-time job, it's kind of hard to do a script for a video and edit it, and then like barely nobody will see it, because I didn't have monetization back there. And monetization on YouTube is like life or death for your channel. If you don't have it, then your videos automatically will not be promoted as a monetized video should be. So it went up from a hobby, and then it actually kick-started, and I started making friends with other streamers and getting to really like it. And here I am.
Absolutely. The part that you said about writing scripts and then editing and all that stuff, that's kind of what's keeping me from making YouTube the main one when it comes to like making YouTube videos versus streaming on Twitch, because I just have no dang time to sit down and do that kind of thing. Let's switch to talking about TF2 itself. How many hours do you have in the game?
Well, on TF2 I actually have 4,500 hours last time I checked. I think it was a little bit more, but I like to say I like the number 5,000, excuse me, 5,500 hours on TF2. I don't want this to fool anybody. I mostly spend my time either on a community server or either on a versus Saxton Hell. Like I wasn't really dedicating my whole time to casual, you know, even before the whole level thing showed up. So it's an interesting story. So when I was in Egypt, back when I was like 18 years old, I didn't end up in Sweden. I was in Egypt, and I was like working in a bakery. And I actually decided one time that I want to buy Counter-Strike 1.6, like the oldest Counter-Strike, and I want to buy it on Steam so I can join those Steam-only services. And one of my friends was actually playing TF2, and I looked inside an inventory, and there was like a green paint. I clicked on it, and it says it worth $2, and I was like asking the guy, "How did you get that?" Because that $2 to me was like a lot, when, especially when you live like in a third world country. $2 is a lot, and he was like, "I was playing this game and I got it," and I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Let me download this game and try to play it or idle in it, and maybe I'll get a chance to get some of that juicy paint item or anything that worth money to be sold." And I started the game, and I remember going on Sawmill, and I didn't know anything. I just picked up heavy, and I was spamming E-medic all the time, and that's how it started.
So you got into TF2 on the basis of making money.
Exactly,
That's kind of baller. Have you made money playing TF2 besides like streaming?
Well, honestly, I don't think I made like any such a good amount. I did occasionally got an Australian on my first Mecha Engine tour, which is like total tour was like 3, and then like I decided, you know what, let me make another account. I make a second one. I did a tour there, didn't have any success. On the third account, I actually succeeded and got a spy knife, and that was like you know what, I've hit the jackpot. Time to bail out. Don't put any more money, and I stopped playing it for Australian, and that was like back when I was in McDonald's in Sweden, so money wasn't really that big of an issue. Like I could put $10 on Steam every now and then, and that wasn't really a big issue. And I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna put any money into the game, and I didn't really meant to be pay to win. Actually, I got the premium gift from a friend I have. He actually gifted me along with an on per hand. And that actually started the whole going, you know what, let me play MVM, and I invited to MVM and start playing.
You gotta love the gambling mode in TF2.
Yeah, it is gambling, yeah, that's what it is.
Do you main a class in TF2?
Yeah.
Soldier?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I do main soldier. He's been my favorite class for the entirety of me playing TF2. Although I have to mention also I play other classes as well. Like I try to be a little bit of a wild card as I could, but mainly I focus all my time on soldier because the amount of skill that it takes to rocket jump, sync, there's a lot of stuff you do with soldier, and it just makes them so interesting to me. Not mentioning the SFM movies, of course, because I got recommended on my YouTube a lot of SFM, and I was like, oh wow, that's amazing. I want to do that rocket jump, I want to do that surf, I want to do this, and I want to do that.
Awesome. How many hours do you have in Soldier? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's 500 plus, that's for sure, yeah.
Okay. What do you think of the way that Valve is currently treating TF2?
I think I looked up into that topic a lot, and I don't think it's like a very easy answer. It's safe to say yes, Valve didn't really care about TF2, but the truth is much more deeper than that. I think Valve employers, like when they work, they have their wages hours, and they need to put their time and effort into something that will grant the company money. So when people go out of the way and do something for TF2, and they have a fear because the fan base hadn't had an update for a while, and anything they say or not say, they'll like it will cause a lot of chaos in the community. Like you saw what happened with the update. They just changed it in the holiday size. They tried to ease the pressure, but the damage was already done, and it actually blew up even out of proportion more. And I think I understand if I was like an employer there, and my wage would depend on me making an update that actually draws in more profit for Valve. If that's the case, then yeah, I'll be scared to work on TF2 alone and risking my job there. I love the game, and I wish people would work on it, but you gotta also understand that it's not really easy being an employer at Valve either. And I think this is why people move into CSGO and Dota, because those games are still going, and is still making way more than TF2 is making. And to the root of the thing, Valve is a company, and making money is the priority here. I don't think they hate the game. I just think like every employer there is just scared of working on a project that might flop and possibly cost them their job, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's definitely a tough place for it to be. You have a game that's been going on for so long and people are still playing it, but I mean, you do have to put out new stuff too, or else
True.
people aren't gonna like it. Let's pivot to your channel now. Your Twitch channel is on the larger side of TF2 specific channels. You're sitting at, what is it, 3,000 followers? Yep.
3,000, but I'm missing 15 people out of them. But eventually we'll take them, no problem. We'll get them. We'll get there.
What ways have you, or what strategies have you implemented to build your channel?
So when I started streaming, I understood the idea of to be an entertainer, you gotta be like a dance monkey dance or do monkey do. You gotta be an entertainer and willing to do whatever it takes. So usually I will do stuff like either to entertain my audience or either to just cater to them. You know what? Look, I'll do this thing and maybe end up doing something horrendously bad or failing miserably, and that end up being entertaining. I think some of the stuff that people tend to forget is you can either be really good at the game to a point where it's entertaining, or you can be really funny, and that also works on Twitch. You don't have to be super good at the game to be popular on it. And then there's another thing that's very important is making friends, going around the other TF2 streamers and talk to them, maybe give them a raid, give them some love. You know, doing business is very dependent on the relationship you make with the people around you. And throughout the way, I got raided by a bunch of people. I remember getting raided by Strife when I had like above 500 followers, and that was like, and I got raided by 57 people, and that was like amazing. The feeling was amazing. And I was like, you know what, I want to do the same now. And I'm doing raid to this guy, raid to that guy, and I made a lot of friends. With eventually, I met up with some of them in real life.
It's pretty cool, that feeling that you're talking about, getting raided when you're small. A couple years ago, I was streaming TF2 back when Face It was like the big thing.
I remember that.
That's when I had jumped on the train of streaming TF2, and one of my streams I was playing on Face It, and I got raided by Array 7, and I was like, what? Whoa, what? And friggin' oh god, oh, that feels bad. I need to know his name. What's the guy's name? The demo night, Solarlight. Yeah. He was in the chat, and he hung out and talked for like an hour or two or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And it was so cool. I haven't talked to him since, unfortunately, but I will do it.
Well, no problem. I mean, one thing that will help you really, really much on streaming, especially on TF2, is having a face cam. Not a lot of people do it, and I can understand the pressure. Like, I didn't have a face cam when I started, and I wasn't planning on having a face cam. I said, like, you know what, I'll make it a follower goal, 500 followers, and I'll do a face cam. And eventually, they did it, and I showed my face. Yeah, it is very scary, the thought in the first moment, and then you get used to it, but it separates you a lot from everyone else. Like, I don't wanna make fun of any VTuber or BNG tubers, but it's way better in my opinion to have a face cam. It sets you apart a lot, especially on TF2.
I agree. TF2 is one where it's like, well, I don't know, it's because even just on Twitch right now, VTubers were like a very niche thing at the beginning, but now that's like the easiest thing to do everywhere. If you need to get like you on camera, right? Quote unquote, on camera.
I mean, it's everywhere, but the thing is, like, my issue with the whole like thing is like most of them is just like nothing, like a very basic movement, not interaction. They don't like get creative, like maybe on Engineer Gaming Live or Festo. Shout out to both of them, by the way. They do amazing job. Like, yeah, it's a VTuber, but they get creative with it. They zoom out the character, they give it some reactions, they change the scene. Even Deputy, like, you can get creative with it, but some people is just like, you know what, I'm gonna make this model with some very specific aspect to draw in attention, and they think, you know what, that's it. I don't need to do anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. I I the reason that I actually started streaming, I started streaming on my birthday cuz I wanted to get a camera before I was able to stream. For some reason my brain was just like, I need to be like, I want my face to be on camera the whole time. And it personally, like, my channel has not seen super massive growth. The biggest growth was at the very beginning when I reached actually it was kind of insane. I reached like the affiliate goal or whatever, the achievements,
Yeah,
like under a week, which I was
that's
like,
amazing.
holy crap. Like, this is a big deal. But then it plateaued super hard, and then I kind of popped off or I didn't stream for a year, which definitely wasn't good.
Nope.
But headspace, all that stuff. I was going through a lot of shit because I was graduating college, all that
I mean,
junk.
it's understandable. Your life comes first, obviously, and this is a hobby, and you should not really treat it like a job until it becomes one. The thing is about also Twitch is like you have to stream a lot, not every day, but you have to be consistent with your stream, even a schedule, which is something I could not do, unfortunately, because my work schedule as a nurse changes all the time. So maybe a couple of days I'll be working morning and shift, and then like a couple of days I'll be working night and within between. So for me, I cannot really do schedule, but it definitely helps if doing a schedule. And one of the stuff that I also recommend is just being there every day and just don't really mind your viewer count. Just talk all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely the part that is like the hardest learning curve for me, is like talking into nothingness is way harder than it sounds, because you just have to be entertaining without having that kind of feedback. But once you start getting those people coming in and being like, oh my gosh, like, you're streaming again, hi, then it gets a whole lot easier. What do you think of the changes that Twitch is going to go through for monetization in ads? I think, what, April? Is it this year? I can't
Really?
remember.
Did they actually announce it? Can you give me like a quick summary, because I don't think I took a look at it.
Well, so the big deal that's coming up is ad revenue stuff. Maybe this was already implemented. I
I
honestly
mean, they
don't.
already
Twitch
do
doesn't
sharing
talk to
ad.
you.
These like this period they were like sharing ads, but they're playing like so many
Right.
ads.
I think that it's like they're gonna be taking a bigger cut of subscriptions or subscribers that come in, but they're gonna give you a bigger cut of ad revenue as long as you play 6 minutes of ads every hour, which, for people listening who don't know, that's insane. That's like
Yeah.
so many ads. That's like,
Yeah, I mean that feels like an eternity to people who watch, like, and it's even like I tend to consider it a little bit harmful to small streamers, because we really don't have the amount of people to begin with. Like, you're gonna have, if you have like, let's say you have like constantly 5-10 people joining your stream all the time, that will give you a boost on whatever game you play. But if you're a guy who's just starting, it's definitely not easy. It's definitely like cost you some people, which is like not your fault. It's just like Twitch placing ads. So I tried to minimize it as much as I could. Like, yeah, it's making revenue, but I don't. At the same time, I'm not big enough that that revenue will mean actually something to me.
yes, exactly. It's whatever, but I think that it's going to end up being a really big deal when it comes to the big streamers on Twitch, and I think that Twitch is actually going to see a big like blowback when it comes to their big streamers leaving because of these rules. And like, honestly, that's probably not the worst thing for smaller streamers,
Yeah,
because 90% of people on Twitch are there watching one person or like three people.
yeah, that's
But
true.
it's not good for Twitch as a whole. What made you want to stream on Twitch versus YouTube, or have you thought about?
So yeah, there's
So
like I thought about like streaming on YouTube. Like the YouTube streaming is way better than Twitch, but the problem with YouTube streaming is is the way that people find you. It's very annoying, and it's take a lot of time to scroll between channels. It's not like the discovery thing like Twitch has, and I think if YouTube did that, that would be like a huge thing for them. And I'm very happy that YouTube is starting like to rival Twitch, because if we had no rival, then Twitch wouldn't really add those changes. Like, we didn't have the emote, the animated emote, and all stuff they add. I don't think we would have that if YouTube streaming wasn't a thing, you know, because if there's a competition, then they will start working. And same thing with like Epic Game and Steam. I was like, you know what, I'm happy Epic Game is here, because if they put some pressure on Steam, Steam will might do some change. And look, we got the point system, which is something wasn't there. Like, they're trying to rival, which is good, because you don't, at the end of the day, you don't want like one company having monopoly over a thing, because that company will get powerful, and you may do whatever you want, but will just kick you off the platform, and that'll be like the end for most content creators, you know.
Absolutely, I agree. So we talked about outreach, those things. Do you have any future ideas for streams that you can share? Actually, let me alter this question a little bit. When it comes to your streams, how do you keep it clever and creative? How do you come up with new ideas for streams?
So whenever I'm outside, either working or doing my thing, whenever an idea comes, I immediately write it down, so I do not forget it. What I try to do is also like figure out like a good catchy title. When you're streaming, it's like YouTube, you need to have like a good thumbnail or like clickbait stuff. Like, it's like clickbaiting, but you need it, because if people don't click on you, they won't check you out. And you also need to have something going on there. Like I said, one of the things that also made me stay with Twitch is an extension that called crowd control, which allow people to basically transfer channel points into coins, and then use that coin in a game you're playing with crowd control. So let's say you're playing Minecraft, they can spawn creeper on you, they can spawn skeleton, and what I try to do is basically make it hardcore, so people who screw with me, it's actually gonna be satisfying, you know. And I think this is like a huge factor in why I'm staying with Twitch and not YouTube, because that extension in particular. And when it comes to getting like creative, is basically like the meme culture. Every now and then you see a meme comes up. Every now and then you see like some, whether it's low tier god, whether it's Dr. Liversy, whether it's Pizza Tower, which is going right now. So you know what? How can I inject some of that into my own stream? I know, I'll put a title, or put like a small gif of that meme down below, or a reference to it, you know, even in a title, you know, and that really helps gets you out of there. Instead of having titled like, oh, playing TF2 casual, you have this, you should keep yourself safe, for example, you know. And people get it, immediately get it, you know, like you put it there, you should keep yourself safe, and you know what, I'm gonna click on that, and there you go.
What so I'm down to like my last question. To cap it off, do you have any big streams or big projects planned for your channel in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually looking for doing a charity stream. Like, I'm not gonna do like a big events. I don't feel like I have a lot of time when it comes to my daily life, because I go to work, go to gym, and then like the rest of that time I spend it streaming. I have like an idea. Basically, I'm hosting a Minecraft server, and we're doing like a tournaments. Basically, there's an event called Manhunt, which is people who are speedrunners, and the other are hunters. The hunter job is to kill the speedrunners while they try to finish the game. And I also like I said, I'm doing like a charity stream. Maybe I'll do like 3 days of streaming 12 hours. Unfortunately, I cannot stream 24 hours because I have a little baby brother, and I don't want to wake him up and make his mother angry, you know? I don't want to be thrown out.
Okay. I think so. I'm not actually 100% sure that this is like that people are advertising this right now or anything, but one of the big reasons that we decided to do this show together is because we're actually on a team for a charity event.
Yep.
That's going on, the Charity Cup, hosted by another Twitch streamer, Deputy7, who I did one of these episodes with. Super chill dude. What do you, seeing the people that we're up against, do you think we got a good chance?
I think at the end of the day, it's like hit or miss, and I got my friend Swipes on on my team, so I'm pretty confident that we have a chance at least. Like I don't think Swipes will be able to carry the whole team. Obviously, it's a 9-player game, and even if you have like one good player, if the rest of the team won't playing together, you will not win. And for me, like, I was like, you know what, I want to try my best to win, and if I don't win, it's just a charity event, no problem, you know. But there's no harm in trying and giving it the best all the time, you know.
I'm super excited. I'm super out of practice on TF2 because Overwatch 2 is taking a small portion of my life. They're too big of a portion of my life.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to start training in sniper a little bit.
But it takes a little bit of time, but yeah, you got to warm up pretty good.
Yeah, we'll get it. That's all the questions that I had. Tradition on this show is to end it with, do you have any questions for your host?
Yes. How old are you and what you're studying? You mentioned college.
Yeah, I'm 24, just turned 24, and I actually graduated college already. I studied... thank you very much. I studied... I mean, there's a few words for it. Most of it's like cinematography, like video production, stuff like that. It didn't have my university didn't have a film major, so it ended up being like a...
That actually sounds interesting.
Yeah, production. So it leads very well into streaming like this. And now for a real job, I work at a TV studio and I record stuff for there. So
that's pretty interesting. I hope you're gonna be in the Insomnia event in the UK. We're gonna be there with the rest of the TF2 creators. They're gonna be a lot. I don't know if you know about it.
I have never heard of this. No.
So there's an event called Insomnia, I-71 as a shortcut. Basically, it's like a big event where like lots of games and lots of console away, and they do a TF2 event. I believe it's Connect TF, the same people that I was with on the December charity stream. I actually met Swipes there for the first time, and they're gonna be there in the UK. So you're gonna get to meet me. You're gonna get to meet Swipes, Peter Scraps, and CJ. If you're interested, it's a pretty decent event. I think you should look it up. It's gonna be in August 25th.
So if I'm looking it up, I just look up Insomnia TF2 or what?
Insomnia I-71. It didn't been announced yet, but my friend Rahmat can. I think you know who Rahmat is. I think he can also let you know, and you can stay with us until they announce it. We're pretty sure they're gonna do, but we're waiting to see if they're gonna announce any TF2 because they usually have TF2 every year on August in the UK. And it's very good because it's not just me. It's gonna be Rahmat, it's gonna be me, CJ, Cerny, Swipes. We're gonna be meeting there. Solo, Light, Shork. I met all of them there. Yeah. It was insanely good.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to get in touch with you for more details on that because I am interested. But yeah, we'll do that off episode.
Absolutely.
Well, that's everything. That's everything that I had. Do you want to plug some socials real quick before we?
I'm not gonna plug anything. I think it's Twitch Mr_Sve. That's my Twitch channel, and everybody know that already. But I want to give shout out to my friends, the people who helped me throughout my journey. Whether it's Swipes, Pope, Abibi, WD, Rob, all the wonderful people that stuck around me. Honestly, with this journey, Cerny, all of you guys that been with me, it was an absolutely mind-blowing, honestly, when I met them and hang out with them, and it definitely means a lot, and I'm looking more to it in the future.
Hell yeah, I'm excited for it too. I'm gonna have to see if I can get in touch with any of those people and get them on this show too. That'd be fun.
Absolutely.
All right, that's going to be the end of this episode of A Night With. If you have anybody else that you want to see on this show, let them know, let me know. My Discord link is in the description. Shoot me a message, and I will get in contact with them and try to make it work. Mr. Sve, thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
And we will see you all on the next episode of A Night With. A very special thank you to Seven, S Penguin G, and Gibby the Gangu.